Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about AI-driven ITSM done right, because the reality is AI on its own doesn't fix ITSM. It needs the right context, your assets, your dependencies, and how your interaction. We'll show you how combining fresh service, Freddy AI, and asset discovery can move your organization from reactive support to proactive, intelligent service delivery. Please note, we will also be having an in-person event on the 15th of May in the Gauteng area. If you'd like to join the event, please click the link we will share shortly. Also, a few housekeeping rules. Please note that microphones has been enabled for the Q&A, which will be after the presentation. Cameras have been disabled. Please feel free to post any questions in the chat during the session, and we'll address those after in the Q&A. Before we get into the detail, let me quickly introduce the team taking you through today's session. I am Tiaan Klopper. I am the Freshworks product owner at First Digital, and I look after employee experience and customer experience. And from Freshworks, we have Kartik, who is the partnership manager for Africa, as well as Suresh Balaji, who is the senior solutions engineer for the MEA region. I will now hand over to Kartik.
Awesome. Thanks, Ian, and good morning, everyone. Firstly, thank you so much for joining in. It's awesome to see so many people joining on Tuesday morning. Really appreciate that. Well, before I pull my deck, firstly, I won't be boring you with long slides. Trust me on that. First things first, I wanted to thank the First Digital First Tech team here. We have been working with them little more than 6 years now. We have been partnered and we have been doing great things together. So really thanks for putting this up. So anyone, if you want to know more about what we do, what are the products offerings, feel free to talk to the audience, the team here on the call. I also have Balaji and Ashish from the Freshworks sales team. So who will take a minute at the end of the webinar. So feel free to post your questions as in when you have in the chat. All right, awesome. So just to set the context for the session, right? I know most of you are aware of Freshworks, who we are, what we do. Just to be on the same page, a quick introduction. So Freshworks, we offer enterprise grade software covering the entire spectrum, starting from employee experience to customer experience. And the best part is we do this without the enterprise grade complexity. And we have been doing this since 2010. We started with a small, humble office back in India, and right now we have about 13 global offices, and we are headquartered in California. We started with customer experience side of things, and slowly with time evolved, and we realized, hey, it's not fair just to focus on the customer experience. We need to balance the way, and that's when we started working towards employee experience. So we cover the entire horizon now. We went public. We got listed on Nasdaq in September 2021. In fact, we were the first Indian SaaS company to do so. So we are super proud of that. In terms of revenue, we have been clocking little over $800 million, as ARR. And this is possible with a team of 4,500 employees working across the global offices. And we have about close to little more than 74,000 customers. This is again from different shape and size. Well, we have been also cognizant of the fact that with time, we're not just innovating, but also being recognized as leader by various analyst firms, including Gartner. Yeah, next slide, please. Awesome. So these are some of the customers whom we are working with. And like I mentioned, we work across the horizon since we cover both the CX and EX side. So there is no sweet spot for us, to be very honest. So we are solving problems for different shades and type of companies, starting from retail, logistics, financial services, manufacturing, high tech, hospitality, education, you name it, we are already working with them. All right, some more logos closer to the home. So these are some of the customers that we are working in the Africa region. Some big names: TFG, African Bank, ENS Africa, and there are a couple more. And this is again a good mix of our customer experience offerings along with employee experience offerings. Well, I'll take another minute just to deep dive on the portfolio that we have. So our portfolio spans two big adjacent markets. On the employee experience side of things, we have Fresh Service that handles the IT service management, asset management, and operations. And we also have Device 42 under the umbrella. Well, I'm sure you would have heard of Device 42. This is a company that we acquired in May 2024. So now it's fully integrated. Customers have an option to use it as an integrated solution or as standalone option. And with Device 42, this extends into deep infrastructure discovery. So now with Fresh Service and Device 42, we cover the spectrum that is end-to-end IT operations. And on the customer experience side, we have Freshdesk Omni and Freshdesk to power the omni-channel support, while Fresh Chat and Fresh Caller cover messaging and calls. Now, all of this piece is tied together to our in-house agentic AI layer, which we call it as Freddy. And this is broadly three components. We have one on the AI agent front, a co-pilot, and AI insights for the leadership visibility. So, in a nutshell, one platform, two markets, two problems, and one AI brain. So I hope this context was helpful. Before I pass it on to Tian for the deeper demo. Over to you, Tian.
Thank you so much. Okay, looking at Fresh Service then, it provides intelligent service management for IT teams. There are 5 main service areas within Fresh Service. So firstly, we have ITSM or IT Asset Management. So ITSM focuses on managing IT services and support effectively using incident management, problem management, change management, service request management, knowledge management, SLA management, and release management. Next, we have ITOM or IT Operations Management. So ITOM monitors and manages IT operations and infrastructure using alert management, orchestration, event correlation, monitoring integrations, automation of incident responses. And then we have ITAM or IT Asset Management. So ITAM helps manage the entire lifecycle of IT assets using asset inventory, asset discovery, asset lifecycle management, software license management, and contract management. And then next we have PPM or project portfolio management. So PPM enables the managing of IT and organizational projects effectively using project planning, resource management, task management, time tracking, and portfolio reporting. And then lastly, we have ESM or enterprise service management. So ESM extends ITSM principles to non-IT departments like HR service management, facilities management, finalizable workflows, and a unified service portal. Okay, so ways a requester can actually log a ticket or even raise a service request. So you can use the self-service portal to log tickets or service requests from a web portal. You can access knowledge-based articles on this portal to help self-resolve issues. Or you can also email a designated IT support email address where Fresh Service automatically converts that request into a ticket. You can use MS Teams or Slack chatbot, where employees can interact with the service bot to log issues or raise service requests. You can also phone support, so employees can call a help desk agent who would log the ticket manually. You can use a mobile app, so available for Android and iOS to log, track, and manage tickets. And there's also walk-in support, so employees can physically visit IT support and an agent can manually log a ticket on their behalf. And there's also another way using alerts and monitoring systems for automated ticket creation. So if Fresh Service is integrated with, for example, SolarWinds or Azure Monitor or other IT monitoring tools, system alerts can automatically create tickets. Okay, so now we'll go into a demo. So I'm just going to switch here quickly to my chatbot. So as you can see here, I've got my service bot. This is from MS Teams. So obviously my integration is set up between my Fresh Service instance and my MS Teams. So from here, what I could do is, just to give you a bit of perspective, so the requester, this is sort of like a self answer grounded in knowledge and raise a request without switching tools. So just an example, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put in one query. I'll even just want to raise a VPN issue. I was now going to have a look at this request, go through my knowledge base, and see if it finds a match for my specific query. And if it doesn't find a match, you can also raise a ticket then. So the point here is to try and deflect customers creating tickets unnecessarily. So if there is an article that can assist the person, instead of him having to log a ticket, then we call it self-deflection, right? Or ticket deflection. Just waiting for this bot. My internet connection at the office might be a bit wonky. Let's see. I'm going to ask something else just in the meantime, just to see if we can get it going. Okay, so it found an article based on access to Teams. So it gave me some sort of description there. I can hover over this and see we've got some sources. If I hover over the link, obviously that lives within my fresh service instance under my solution and articles. So if I click on this, it will actually open up the article. This is one of the articles hosted within my fresh service instance. Obviously, you can add links here. You can perhaps is for MS Teams, there could be a link to download MS Teams. You could have pictures in here. You can make it look the way you want, and you can categorize your solutions to whatever suits your business needs. So if it's IT related, probably under IT or IT policy related. Okay. There's also thumbs up and thumbs down. What this does is actually give your knowledge base team article feedback, whether this article was useful or not. This is also useful for your managers reporting on particular knowledge base articles. Does it actually solve the problem or does it not? You can also raise a ticket using this little red icon or card here, or you can ask obviously different questions. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just ask a question in a different language, and we're just going to see here if we get a response. Okay, so the service bot is again looking at the question. Yes, it did find a response in this language, which seems to be French. If I were to raise a ticket now, it's going to take that last request that I put into context. Work with items, I'll click continue. And as you can see, it filled in my description based on the language I spoke. Okay, so that just helps you to respond quicker without having to type too much, and you can fill out your form. These forms are customizable, so you can go ahead and change the forms that the people use to interact with to suit your business needs, right? So I'll just go
Tian,
back here
sorry
for
to
now.
interrupt you there. Tian, sorry. Tian, can you please go off your video because we are having a very poor audio. Tian?
Sorry, say again.
No, can you turn off your video? The audio quality is very bad. Can you please turn off your video? Yeah. Yes, it's all good now. Please proceed. Can you speak?
Okay.
Yes.
Testing now.
Yes, all good now.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Apologies. Seems like we've got some internet issues at the moment. What I was saying is you can even do requests in multiple languages. As you can see there, once you put a request in, it will try and translate that request to the language you've spoken, and you can obviously log the ticket according to the language you requested in. What I'm going to do now is I'm quickly going to raise two tickets from here. If it cannot find an article relating to the request, it's just going to ask you to raise a ticket. See, it didn't find an article, so I can just say raise a ticket. And perhaps I want to know something about the onboarding process. Freddy AI has gone and had a look at what I've requested. It was onboarding steps. It already filled that description in for me, so I can go ahead and submit a specific ticket for that. So it created an incident for me. Onboarding steps was my inquiry, and I can actually go to that ticket from here. I'm also going to raise another one. This is going to be a service request. I need a monitor. So all of your service assets or your service request items that live within your Fresh Service instance, you can actually request from within your sort of, how can I say, your portal or from MS Teams. There's multiple ways you can raise a service request. In this case, I want the Dell monitor. And it's going to go ahead and raise that service request for me. Great, there we go. All right, so other ways we can actually log requests is using the self-service portal. And a similar thing you can again ask here for Freddy AI, you need a monitor. Or you can email support, or you can phone in. And a similar thing. Once I fill this in, it's actually going to go ahead and create that service request. Okay, so as an agent responding to the service requests that came in or incidents that came in, I would log into my Fresh Service portal, and this is what I would see. I would land on my dashboard. The dashboard is fully customizable. I can add and remove widgets the way I want to. As a leader, I might need to see different information. I can pull reporting data that's relevant to me at my specific level, or perhaps as an agent, tickets is my main priority, and I can go ahead and make my dashboard look the way that suits my needs. Okay, so that's the first thing you'll see when you log in as an agent. You'll see your dashboard. Okay, but we're here to actually have a look at the tickets. So when I click on tickets and I look at the list of tickets, I can see this is my view. I can filter my tickets to all tickets and specific sort of groupings that you want. You can also make the layout look the way you want by changing your columns. You can add and remove columns, and perhaps there's certain things that's priority for you. But what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to go and create a ticket again, and I'll quickly use the bot, and I'll just say, for example, QA server is down. Okay, so that's some sort of incident. And the reason I want to show you that is just quickly, how do we acknowledge that a new ticket has been created quickly? So I'm going to raise a ticket here. It's for the IT team. Perhaps it's for someone else. So I can change the requester. Can I work? Maybe yes. Change your priority. QA server is currently down. Okay, submit a ticket. Cool, it's been created and a new ticket has come in. Cool, so we got a QA servers down incident from this person. I click on the link. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to respond or acknowledge to say I've received your request. So when I click on a ticket, the first thing I see is obviously the details page, and you can see where Freddy AI will assist us. So we've got a summary with Freddy AI. So if I click on that, it's going to give me a summary. But there's not a lot of context on this. I'm not going to summarize this one specifically, but I could do if I wanted to. But what I want to do is I want to minimize downtime. So I want to respond to this person as quick as possible. So I'm going to use Freddy AI to respond. So I'm going to acknowledge that I've received this ticket. It's all about efficiency here. So I clicked on that and cool. I've responded quickly. I could go ahead and refine this response if I wanted to, enhance the tone or rephrase it or make it more professional or casual, and Freddy will go ahead and do it. Just be aware, wherever your cursor is highlighted, that's the text that will change. Okay, so I can go ahead and I can go and send this reply. So we want efficiency here, so Freddy is assisting us to respond quickly to this person. So the requester will have received now feedback saying we've received or we acknowledged your request. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open another ticket with a bit more context to show you obviously the summary, ticket summary, I mean. So I'm just opening another ticket here. As you can see, there's a bit more conversations on this one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on Summarize with Freddy AI. So I'll click on that. And that helps me, instead of having to go through all of these tabs at the top, to quickly get a summary of what is this ticket about. If I look at the summary, it says it was a service request for VPN access for a contractor called Ryan from sales department in Joburg. The project onboarding is blocked until access is provisioned. Request was acknowledged and next steps are being processed. So I can add this as a note. Okay, so I'll add it as a note. You can also change the status if needed be. Okay, so that gives me a quick summary. And again, we've got our reply using Freddy AI. So we've got a couple of options here. Perhaps you need to follow up. So if I click on that, it's going to generate a follow-up for me. I can request a confirmation to close or acknowledge. Perhaps there's a solution step. So I'm going to click on this one. And the reason it's giving us these options is because it actually found an article that might help with this solution. So I can also inspect this article before I actually send it to the client or to the response. Have a look if I'm happy to send this, or I can just delete it from the chat if need be. I can, like I said before, I can actually refine some of my comments. I can make it sound different. Okay, all of this is just to aid us to respond as quickly as possible without obviously having to manually type anything. And I can then send this off to the client. Okay, so there's also options to generate resolution notes. So let's say a ticket has been completed or been taken care of. I can see this one has already been actioned. The problem has been resolved. I need a resolution note. So what I do is I'll go to resolution. I'll click on this generate resolution note. It would look at the context of the ticket, and Freddy AI will actually give me a resolution note for what actually resolved this issue. Great. One button. There we go. Saved it. Happy. Cool. What I'm going to show next is quickly the translator. So if a request came in a different language and I would like to respond to the person in a different language or in his own language, I could do that as well. So just quickly opening this ticket, I can see it's in a different language, but I can, in my own language, see what it's about due to Freddy Summary AI. So I can quickly read, okay, cool, it's this. Now I want to reply to this person. So I'll click reply. And perhaps we're gonna give it some resolution steps for this issue. So it's gonna have a look through the knowledge base articles. It found something about Microsoft Teams, and now I wanna respond this back to this customer. So I'll go and show translation. It's in French. I can copy this and perhaps send this off to the customer. You can still refine it. Perhaps you know French or a different language. You can go and refine and expand on them. And then you can send this back to the customer in his own preferred language. There's also other ways Freddy AI can assist us. It's with similar incident suggestions. So I'll open another ticket here. Perhaps there is a ticket that's got similar tickets that might have been resolved already. As you can see here, wherever these little stars is, Freddy can assist us. Again, I can summarize this to get a quick summary. But I can also resolve this faster using similar tickets. I'll click on a similar ticket here. And perhaps I can already have an answer for this person without actually having to delve deep into it. I can open an existing or similar ticket that's already Everybody can still hear me, right? Just want to confirm.
You broke up for about 30 seconds.
Okay. Apologies for that. So what I showed there was similar incidents. So that just helps us to respond to a ticket that perhaps have already a resolution. Hence why similar tickets, you can go there, you can get a summary from that ticket, perhaps it's been resolved. You can copy that, paste it, and respond to the customer as quick as possible. Okay, so that's how we would use similar tickets to resolve issues. I showed you the translator quickly. I've showed you ticket summary generator, the reply suggester, all that assistance that you get from Freddy AI just to respond to tickets. Something else I'll show you is, for example, if your knowledge base articles, so if you have a ticket and it doesn't give you a suggester to support the person, you probably don't have an article ready in your knowledge base. So what we could do is, for example, we could use, or we could quickly create an article. What I do here, I'll quickly just use an example. I'm going to create a quick article with a couple of lines. So I'm going to do this quickly. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste into my article generator almost the one-liner. There we go. So Freddy has created a nice little article. Perhaps on this line, I can use Freddy again to expand. So Freddy is helping us, assisting with creating some content for our article. Let's say I was happy with this. I'll quickly save it into a category. I'll save it. I need to publish it. And now if someone's got a query about Adobe Premiere Pro, your service bot or your Freddy AI will find that article, and it will be an option for you to send to the customer this particular article. And see how quickly I created an article that could actually assist my company. Okay, so it's so quick to use Freddy AI just to create knowledge-based articles and also to respond to tickets. What I'm going to do now is going to look at some reporting. So this is going to assist our managers to get some information back from their Fresh Service instance. So obviously there's some out-of-the-box features you can enter here, or you can have your own queries. So it's going to go ahead and ask Freddy to look through our data, or our customer data, or our employee data, it doesn't matter, and you can ask it certain things. I'm asking it now to show total tickets by status. And there we go. Freddy has loaded some open, closed, and pending tickets for us. We can add this to report if we need to a new or existing report by choosing that option, or we could ask other questions. Total unresolved tickets by priority. Perhaps that might be interesting information. So you can go ahead and interrogate Freddy about your business data. I'm asking to show me ticket trends for the last 30 days. But this is not the only way you can get reporting data. There's also your analytics part, where Fresh has got some reports out of the box, and you can also go and create your own custom charts. I'll get into that a little bit later. There's just some additional information I'm pulling. Perhaps I want to see the resolved tickets for the last 30 days. And as you can see, there was a lot of tickets raised between the 17th and the 19th, 360. But yeah, so you can go and interrogate this and pull your business information according to your needs. Last question I'm going to ask, compare resolution time for the last 2 quarters for tickets. You can filter this by dates, by agents, by all sorts. Okay. I said there were multiple ways to do reporting. Under reporting, we've got our analytics. From here, you can build your own reports, or you can use the curated reports. Perhaps your Freddy AI agent is performing well in your company. You can go and pull this report and see the assistance it's been given. Is it helpful? Is it unhelpful? The thumbs up and thumb down for the articles, those type of things might be important. You can drill down in these as well. Co-pilot coverage. I mean, there's lots of reports that you can actually use, see adoption trends and all sorts. Okay. Next, I'm going to hand over to Suresh, who's going to show us device 42. Suresh, over to you.
Thanks, Tian. Yeah, so far we have seen how AI can help an ITSM perspective from end users, technicians, and also from the decision makers, right? Now we'll see how having an advanced IT asset management can increase the efficiency for IT processes, right? Tian, can you move on to the next slide, please? Perfect, thanks. So what we would be looking into this section of the presentation is a Device 42, which is a Freshworks company which was acquired recently, and it has a tighter integration with Fresh service as well. In addition to that, Device 42 can have integration with other ITSM players that is out in the market as well. So it can act as a standalone product as well. Now, if you're looking at the core processes or aspects about Device 42, the major advantage or the value that Device 42 offers is a deeper infra discovery, right? We are not just talking about end user devices, servers. So we are talking about a wide range of discovery. Probably we'll get a better clarity when we look into the third slide, which will cover the entire breadth of discovery, right? Ranging from cloud applications or cloud infra assets or legacy systems, which is running on Solaris or in other legacy OSs, and also more modern infra devices like VMs, containers, hypervisors as well. So you have a entire breadth of discovery that can be done using Device 42, and it has both agentless and agent-based discoveries as well. And with this discovery in place, you'll have a near real-time CMDB. I know there was a question that popped up in the Q&A asking for the difference between an ITAM and a CMDB, right? So ITAM is more of managing all the assets lifecycle, who's been leveraging that, what is the state of that asset, financials of that asset, right? Be it IT or non-IT, all that can be managed within FSMS. But when you're looking at a CMDB, we go one step further, where we go beyond just discovering the assets. We also try to understand the relationship between multiple assets, right? So within CMDB, we call every asset as a CI, which is a configuration item. So this is not necessarily the CIs is a hardware component. It could be a software or a services which is running on a hardware as well. So the entire objective of CMDB is to have a holistic view of all these relationship between multiple CIs. So with a robust discovery and a CMDB in place, you have a data enrichment. Whenever there is a discovery that is running on a periodic basis, the data within the CMDB would get enriched with both a hardware software information and also the relationship mapping information as well. And what you get out of Device 42 is not just a deeper discovery, but what is essential for a CMDB, that is the relationship mapping, right? So there are two ways in which you can achieve the mapping. Either you can map out all the dependencies manually, but that is not a recommended or that is not a scalable solution for any enterprise organization where they have a wide number of assets and complex dependencies, right? So that is when the advanced dependency mapping from Device 42 comes and adds value. So you can just deploy all the discovery tools. It will scan the network. It will get all the asset information along with the dependencies between all these CIs, right? So that is what you're going to see in action during the demo. And with this information, with this rich information of assets, the components, softwares, and the relationship mapping, the value that you get out of an IT service management or IT operation process is that you'll be able to quickly map out the impact any incident or a problem or a change can have in the downstream services or downstream applications, right? So you are not just looking at the physical asset that is getting impacted due to any of these modules, whether it is an incident, high priority incident, or a change. You are going much more deeper to understand even at a services and an application level, so that you clearly know the end users or the owners who are owning those applications, and you can clearly notify about any downtime, which is reactive or proactive as well. And that is where the strong integration between not just Fresh servers, but other ITSM players in the market along with Device42, where you'll be able to get more value from all the asset and CMDB information from an IT service operations standpoint. Tian, can you move on to the next slide, please? So we have looked into the capabilities perspective from Device42, right? Now we'll double click or come a little back to understand the use cases or value it offers and what kind of metric that you will be able to derive from Device42, right? So I know this is most of it is related to the previous slide. You'll be able to see we have IT operation management and CMDB, where you're looking at ITSM integrations, with other service delivery, and you'll be able to have clear, tighter integrations with change management, problem management, and incident management processes, which will help you to increase the productivity or operational efficiency by 60%, right? And if you're looking at another use case where you have a planned migration within your infra, where you're planning to migrate some of your infra from on-premise to cloud or from cloud to on-premise, you must have a robust data of all that asset information in a unified system to have a clear migration plan mapped out, right? So that is where Device42 can have act as a single source of truth for all the asset information and CI information, and you'll be able to plan and execute a better migration. And coming to asset management, like I mentioned at the beginning, it is more of life cycle management of all the assets, end of life, financials. So you have a clear information of all the assets, the end of life information, the budget and finance. So you are making sure that your system is compliant to both internal and external audits. So you're always audit ready, and you'll be able to better plan your budgets and financials, so that as you have this unified information, you'll be able to consolidate all the asset utilization and software utilization, and you'll be able to achieve up to 30% of financial savings by having a robust information from the Device42. Now, lastly, which is one of the strengths of Device42, is the data center management. So if you're having a strong, complex or mature on-premise system, or you're kind of managing either a small data center within your organization, you can leverage Device42 to not just discovering the asset information and mapping. You can go beyond that to understand what is the layout of that data center, rooms and racks. You can get information from the temperature sensors as well, and you'll be able to better manage the entire data center metrics using Device42. So these are all the use cases that Device42 will be able to solve for any organization. So so whatever use case that you want to solve from these different topics, you'll be able to definitely leverage Device42 to solve for these use cases. Tian, can you move on to the next slide so that we can look into the discovery map, right? So this slide gives you a clear visibility of the breadth of discovery that Device42 offers. So like I mentioned, starting from an end user devices, which is based on Windows, Linux, or Mac, and starting from legacy devices that you can see here, which is running on Solaris or Linux or Oracle Linux. So you'll be able to discover even that, and also you'll be able to discover modern infra devices like hypervisors, VMware, and you'll be able to containers and Dockers, Kubernetes. So everything would be covered as part of the discovery. So you will not miss out on any type of infra that is available within the organization, and you'll have a complete visibility. So that is why we say that you can be always audit ready for both internal and external audits. Along with that, you will be able to get all that relationship information, right? So now that I have set the context, what are all the capabilities and values that you can get out of Device42? Now it's time for us to see that in action, right? So I will be able to visualize all this information within Device42. So for that, I would quickly share my screen and walk you through the Device42 system. Tian, can I quickly share my screen? That is okay.
Yes, you're welcome.
Perfect. Great. Hope you're able to see my screen. I would give you a quick context of the walkthrough, and then I'll go directly into the product walkthrough, right? So what you're seeing here is a UI for device 42. So like I mentioned, you can have device 42 as a standalone offering from Freshworks, or it is also already tightly coupled or integrated with Fresh Service as well. So if you are using any other ITSM system, if you want to just leverage device 42, you can still go ahead with device 42, and you will have an integration with other ITSM tools as well. Now, I'll give you a walkthrough of the landscape, and I'll go directly into a couple of use cases, and I'll show you how you'll be able to quickly get value out of a device 42, right? So the landing page here would be dashboard, which will give you the insights or key insights that you can get out of all the metrics from all the devices. So you'll be able to customize this dashboard as well. And if I go into the resources, you can see all the types of devices that is available, where you can view all these devices as well, right? So like I mentioned in the slide, you will be able to have specific sections where you'll be able to access all those devices. Or if you can click on this option, you'll be able to get an entire list of all the devices, and you'll be able to apply further filters to narrow down that device based on the device type or the view that you would like to have, right? Now, if I go into the next step, so I did mention you'll be able to discover all these types of devices, and ranging from legacy to modern devices, right? So not every device follows a standard protocol, or every device cannot be discovered through a single discovery probe or a discovery agent, right? So that is where device 42 comes up with different discovery options depending on what type of asset that you want to discover within your infra. So you can see there are different auto discovery options. So if you want to discover a hypervisor, if you want to discover a database, or you want to discover a SNMP device, you will be able to go into these specific types of discovery options, schedule a discovery job for those type of devices. So if there are multiple ranges of devices, you can set up multiple discovery jobs, which will scan or run in a periodic basis or in the schedule that you are defined, and it will collect information for that specific information, and it will update in the inventory option within device 42. And it's not just the hardware, like I mentioned, it also discover all the components, softwares installed on that machine. And if you want to run a discovery for specific SSL HTTPS certificates, you'll be able to schedule a discovery for those certificates as well. And you can make sure that all the systems are compliant with that certificates. So now that we have looked into the range of devices that can be discovered by device 42, and we have looked into the mechanism, how you'll be able to achieve multiple discovery scans for different types of devices. Now let us pick one sample asset as an example, and I'll show what kind of information can be exactly discovered by the auto discovery tool, right? So for that, I'll pick this asset as an example. So you can see you have a vast information of all the properties of this particular asset. You can see this is the name, the type of this asset. This is a virtual machine which is running on VMware. You'll be able to get the serial number, UUID, and you'll be able to get all that information, like what is a CPU memory on the hard disk, the operating system, the OS version of it, end of life of that OS, the cloud instance, the hardware which is associated, or the hardware on which this particular VM is running on. So the entire information related to this particular CI or asset would be auto discovered at the first or the information level, right? So now you have the entire information about this particular asset. Now I'll move on to the next aspect, which is the core with respect to the CMDB, right? The discovery and the relationship mapping. Now that we have seen the discovery, let us move on to the relationship mapping, which is automatically done by device 42, right? So if I go into the same asset here, so you can see this is the same asset that we are looking into the info level. If I go into the resource level, you'll be able to see the hardware on which this particular VM is running on, the hard disk it has attached to, the mount points, and all that information at a resources level. So you'll be able to get all these information here. And if I go into the topology section, I'll be able to get a broader picture here. So this is the asset that we are looking at. the device 42 has not just discovered the information for this particular VM, it has also discovered that there are other CIs that is dependent or interconnected with this particular CI as well. So this is at a high or a global view level. But if you go into this local view, let me zoom out a bit. So you'll be able to see that this is the asset of our interest. This is the exact asset that we are looking into. But these are all the other CIs that has been related to this particular asset, right? So you can see within this asset, there are different services that is running. You have a Java service and you have other services running on this particular asset as well. And you can see this particular Java service is connected to other services on different other CIs as well. So this is how rich data device 42 can discover and give it to you automatically. So this is not manually configured. Every information that you're seeing here is auto discovered by device 42. So you can simply run a scan of different devices, which will scan the entire network, bring in the information along with these CI mapping, not just at an application, not just at an hardware level, but also at an application and a services level. So this is the value that device 42 offer right now. Imagine this level of information being attached to a ticket or a change. When you're going to plan for a change, you will clearly know even down to the services and application level that if I'm going to attach this particular CI to the change, it is impacting a Java service, it is impacting a MySQL service. So, and it has having interaction with other CIs as well. So I can associate or relate all the impacted services, notify all these impacted owners well ahead of that change so that you have minimal disruption for that change. And similarly, if there is a major incident that has occurred, you have identified this is on this particular CI, you can quickly identify what are the downstream and upstream system which is getting impacted due to that major incident. So that is a rich data that device 42 offers, which will help you to quickly narrow down the impact on the downstream systems that it is getting due to the CI mapping and also due to a change or a high priority incident, right? So this is the value that device 42 offer. And it also has an inbuilt reporting module where you'll be able to have multiple data points with respect to different reports. You can have multiple sections and you'll be able to create your own reports of your choice. So that is a quick walkthrough of the system. So I have showcased the entire device 42 as a standalone platform. This information is tightly integrated with Fresh Service as well. Like I mentioned before, you'll be able to get all this relationship mapping and the discovery information pushed into device 42, pushed into Fresh Service from device 42. If you will be able to do the same with other ITSM players as well that is out in the market if you are planning to deploy device 42 as a standalone offering. So that is pretty much I have planned to cover with respect to the advanced asset management and the value that advanced asset management offers with respect to IT service management.
Suresh, there
I think
are few
we are
questions on the chat. Would you want to
yes.
pick it up?
Sure. I think I was able to answer some of the questions before.
Suresh, let me do one thing. Let me just quickly read out the questions that you've not answered, right? So this one is from Christio Van. Can you add additional sources for Freddy to look at, for example, Microsoft Learn?
Yes, yes, Christo, definitely will be able to have additional sources for Freddy in addition to the Fresh Service knowledge base. We do have connectors for SharePoint, Google Drive, and Confluence. So you'll be able to allow Freddy to learn articles from these sources as well, in addition to the knowledge base within Fresh Service.
And there's another question from Christio. The question is, what level of access is required for scanning, both at a network layer and OS layer, Suresh?
Got it. A great question, Christo. So you have by now understood the capability of device 42, right? It goes into every services level. So we do have a robust prerequisite documents which clearly explains the port that you have to open up, the level of access that you want to grant for the discovery to pull in that information. Probably post this call, we'll be able to share all that collaterals. So it is different for different types of devices, right? So different ports has to be opened up for different types of devices and different discovery protocols that has been used. So we can share that detailed information and you can review and get back to us if you have any further questions.
And I do see one question. Okay, there's one thing from Luvio Kati. It says, I mean, I think they're trying to understand if you can explain how users log a call on the AI-driven ITSM.
Okay, perfect. I think this is more from the section which Tian covered. So there are different channels through which a traditional ticket can be logged. Now coming into the question on AI-driven ITSM, the channels that Freshservice offers currently is MS Teams, Slack. In addition to that, you can leverage the self-service portal in Freshservice. So these are all the AI-powered channels through which end users can interact and raise tickets within Freshservice.
Right. So these are the questions that we have on the chat. Anyone, if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask Suresh now. You can raise your hand and we can go ahead with the question. Yes, Viet, the recording will be shared. I think Claire has acknowledged that with a yes, it will be. I think yes, Christio, go ahead with the question. I see your hands raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out whether for your from a language perspective, whether you guys are open to external language capabilities or support from communities, or is everything done in-house? And if that is the case, then what is your roadmap for South African languages look like? Because although it's a very nice feature, you know, it's kind of pointless if our customers can't interact with Freddie in a language that they find comfortable. So what does your roadmap look like at the moment for the South African context?
Got it. I can take that question. Christo, may I know what is there any specific language that you're looking at? So if you can give that information, probably we can get back with and have a discussion with the product team to understand the roadmap of additional languages. So is there any specific language in particular you are looking?
Yeah, I think Suresh, yeah, he has mentioned that on the chat.
Yeah. So yeah. Definitely we can check that and get back to you on that question. Great.
Thank you.
I think there was another question, Ashish. This is more to Balaji and you, I believe, which is what is a credit mechanism and how this can be implemented?
So that was from Yashvir. So I'll respond to that. So we will be connecting with Yashvir post this session, schedule a meeting or a call, and we'll help address that, Suresh.
Great.
Yeah. All right. So I'll give another maybe 15-20 seconds. Yeah, Christian, you have raised your hands. Go ahead with the question.
Apologies, the final question from my side.
No worries at all. Go ahead.
You mentioned that device 42 is either standalone or fresh service integrated. When you look at it from a fresh service perspective, is it still branded as device 42 or is the look and feel different? Sorry, I know it's a silly question, but yeah, just especially when it comes to consistency of UX and those type of things, whether that built-in environment is then translates to a fresh service environment. Thank you.
That's a great question, Christo. Definitely, when we are looking at Fresh Service and Device 42, the UI is different. What we have done is that entire capability that you have seen has been brought into the Fresh Service UI itself. So we have brought in all the discovery options and the relationship mapping that you are currently that I've showcased in Device 42 will be available in Fresh Service itself.
Just a quick reminder from my side for those that's in the Gauteng area, if you want to join the in-person event on the 15th, please do click on the link. Thank you.
I think that's all the questions we have for now. But guys, my name is Ash. I'm from the regional sales team, South Africa. Myself and Balaji are part of the regional sales team. We keep flying into South Africa almost on a monthly basis. And guess what? Myself, Balaji, and Suresh will be in South Africa in the first and second week of next month. That is the month of May. I'm sure, I'm not here in the last 2-3 minutes to give you a sales pitch, but guess what? If you have any burning issues, any use cases that you're currently firefighting with your existing tool, let us know. We'll be happy to sit across the table with you, listen to your problems, understand your problems, and the commitment that we give from our end is that we will find an answer to your issues that you're currently facing. That's exactly what we have done for all our customers globally. And henceforth, we have more than 75,000 plus customers who rely on Freshworks on a day-to-day basis, and they are winning on a day-to-day basis because simply put, Freshworks is simple to use, easy to adapt. The learning curve is not steep at all, right? So we will be happy to sit across the table, understand your issues, and find an answer to that, right? So please feel free to, you will definitely receive an email from our end, and we'll be happy to schedule a meeting with you on a face-to-face basis at your office. Let us know what day and what time works best for you. We are there for 2 weeks in the first week and second week of May. More than happy to sit across the table and address the issues for you, right? And if in case you want to connect with us within this week or the last week of this month, April month, more than happy to connect with you even then, right? So I think that will be all for now. Karthik, that is KK, if you want to close out the session, and we can move ahead with the rest of the day.
Awesome. Thanks, Ash. Firstly, thank you so much, everyone, for sitting together with us until the end of the show. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for the enthusiasm. Really appreciate that. I hope this session was helpful. You have a better context on who we are, what we do, and how we can help you. So, looking forward to more conversations. Cheers, everyone. Thanks, Tian and team, for putting this up.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the day. All the best.